Alright, time to hack Van Halen. Alright, time to hack Van Halen. Kairete, everyone. Today, me and my... What? I'm hacking Van Halen. Yeah? Why? Yeah, but he uses piano techniques. Alright. Just give me a moment, please. Satisfied now? Alright. Like I was trying to say before, today we are going to hack Van Halen. I always pronounce it wrong, that's not Van Halen, it's Van Halen because it's named from Holland, like Van Beethoven. So basically it's Van Halen, not Van Halen. Besides this, today we are going to talk about his right hand and his picking technique. I'm cutting this video into part because it's hard to analyze Van Halen because he's using a lot of piano technique. Thankfully my girlfriend is a piano player and she told me which is the basic. So I'm going to show you this basic technique and then I'm going to talk about his picking technique related to this piano technique. Basically, a piano player, as you can see Van Halen do, is twisting a little up his wrist, and while playing is doing something like this, pushing and then immediately releasing, because the tendon is going to put your finger in place. And if a piano player gets around, he starts doing this while playing. Seems familiar, isn't it? This is Van Halen picking technique, which is basically the technique that a piano player uses in order of running. Now, let's start talking about his picking technique. First thing we gotta say, he used a real moist pick. It's I think a download max grip 0.9 millimeters, which you can find for $3 on the net, so they're quite cheap. He holded that kind of pick in two ways. The first way, while running, he was holding with his middle finger, like this. The second one, while playing rhythmic sections, he used to hold the pick like this, and the fingers were always straight. He didn't close his fingers like doing this. While playing with the pick on the third finger, he closed all the other fingers. While playing with the first fingers, he always let the fingers straight. Now, let's start analyzing the first technique, the one that he used while playing with the pick in this position. As you can see in any video, Van Halen is doing this technique, the piano technique, something like this. You see how horrible it sounds in me, isn't it? Because I'm not Van Halen. Now, there are two keys if you wanna use this technique on guitar. The first technique involves your tendons and the second your bicep. The first one is using the elasticity of the tendons for the second part of the picking. I'll show you. What you gotta do is you're picking a note, then you pick, but you don't have to make a second movement. You have simply to let your forearm go, like this. I'm picking and I'm letting the forearm. Actually, the tendon elasticity is going to make the work for you. So, see, movement and release, movement and release. This is the first key. The second key is about your bicep. If you try to make this movement while not hurting your bicep, it's gonna be quite hard to do. While instead hardening your bicep, the movement will be a little easier, if not much easier. So, remember, use the elasticity of your tendon and harden your bicep. If you take a look at any Van Halen video, you're going to see that he is playing with his arm at 90 degrees while holding the pick in this position. Now you know why. The second picking technique that he's using is this one. He's using for the rhythmic section and he's doing something like this. I don't know why he used this kind of position for these three fingers, but basically this is what he does. Actually, I found it quite uncomfortable, but I think it's some kind of usual thing. I don't know how to put it in words. So remember, if you wanna play like Van Halen, you need these two techniques. You need to learn. Sorry for the stop. I had some technical problems. My computer started doing some crazy things, and I had to stop and start again. Now, there is only one technique about his right hand that we gotta talk about, and is the, I don't know if it's the proper word, but this is the one that I found on the word reference. Thrashing, while he's pushing and pulling the bridge. He's using this kind of technique instead of picking, which I think it's quite a dangerous technique, because first you need a guitar with a really good setup, unless you want your guitar to get untuned every 3 seconds. And you also need very good strings, because they're going to jump like the song, unless they're pretty good strings and they are put on the guitar in a very good way. So, this is, I think, already 6-7 minutes, and I'm not going to bother you any longer. Next time we are going to talk about his left hand and his tapping technique, and I think I'm going to show you some specific video about his tapping technique, because again, also for his left hand and his tapping technique is using piano techniques. So, for now, about Van Halen, this is pretty much it. I hope you liked this video, I hope this video will come in handy, and see you in the second part. Bye!